In the headlines, President Bola Tinubu appoints Nuhu Ribadu, 7 others as special advisors. Terrorists attack Katsina communities, kill 3, abduct 12 others. Nigeria's inflation rate hits 22.4% in May. And on the foreign scene, India, Pakistan brace for winds, floods as cyclone Biparjoy nears. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We start the update in the villa as President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of 8 special advisors. The announcement was contained in a statement released on Thursday by Director Information, State House Biodun Oladunjoye. Pioneer EFCC Chairman Nuhu Ribadu is appointed Special Advisor on Security. Others appointed are Dele Alake, Special Advisor, Special Duties, Communications and Strategy. Yao Darazo is appointed as Special Advisor, Political and Intergovernmental Affairs. Wale Edun, Special Advisor, Monetary Policies, and Olu Vehejen, Special Advisor on Energy. Zacchaeus Adedeji has been appointed as Special Advisor, Revenue, and John Ugochukwu as Special Advisor, Industry, Trade and Investment, while Dr. Salma Ibrahim Anas has been appointed as Special Advisor on Health. Now, survivors and family members of victims of boat mishap in Patigi local government area of Kwara State where over 100 people have died are recounting their experiences on how they survived the incident. Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak, while on a commiseration visit to leaders of the communities affected, promises to take measures to avert future occurrence. Here's the report.
Patigi town is nearly 6 hours journey away from Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, largely because of bad roads. About 4 villages, namely Pada, Ebu, Zanka and Sampi, are affected, with all of them losing 108 people to the accident. The survivor narrates what happened and how he escaped.
Just when both cars break down, then God had just helped me. I heard there's one tree there. Just hold the tree and climb the tree. So I'm there, then God just helped me. So I'm climb the tree, just fall down. Then God just fall inside the water. And all the people died inside.
This village head was full of sadness over the huge loss.
The number of the people that are affected are about 108. We have about 200 inside the same local canoe. And unfortunately, the canoe broke into 2. And before they now link up themselves to the river banks, the whole thing sank. So the male ones among them were able to fly and swim out of the water, while the female ones and the children among them. The point is that it's just that it's like the canoe is overloaded and it broke into 2. But I think there's an access road. They shouldn't apply through the river. It's just because there's no road network at all around the area.
The Kwara State Governor, Abdurrahman Abdurazak, and some politicians came here to commiserate with the families of the victims. Accompanied by the Etsu, Patigi, Ibrahim Umar, the governor says government will take measures to forestall future occurrence.
Very sad incident. We're here to commiserate with the people, the Traditional Council of His Royal Highness. We're deeply saddened at the event. Measures will be taking place. We'll be having discussions with NEWA to encourage them on enforcement of safety codes. And we also would be sending a team to Lagos State to see how the Lagos State laws work alongside that of the federal government to reduce conflicts and overlapping of responsibilities. In that effect, we're basically saying we'll be looking at drafting our own laws to enforce safety on the waterways.
The families of the victims call on federal government to find permanent solution by dredging the river Niger and construction of bridges that will connect the villages.
Terrorists have attacked several farming communities in Katsina, killing 3 people while abducting over 12 residents, including women and children. At Kyaburisha community, the bandits killed 1 Alaji Ado, while at Ungwar Nakwari, residents say the bandits killed 2 others and abducted 1 person while wounding several others. The bandits rustled over 12 cows, an unspecified number of goats and sheep, all in Faskari local government area of the state. 8 residents of Dandume were also abducted during the bandits' attack. About 25 rice smugglers were attacked by the bandits at Maje village of Jibia local government area, where they carted away over 20 bags of rice, 30 cartons of spaghetti and 3 motorcycles. Faskari, Dandume and Jibia local government areas have been battling with rampaging bandits over the last 8 years. Security agencies in Katsina State are yet to comment on the recent attacks. In Kano, the police have arrested 12 illegal migrants from Mali and the Niger Republic, as well as 33 other suspected criminals. The State Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Husseini Gumel, says that out of the 12 illegal migrants, 7 were Malians and 5 were Nigerians. He said the migrants deported from Saudi Arabia were found in a house located in Hotoro, Endodo quarters in Kano. The police recovered various items from the illegal immigrants' house, including 46 mobile phones, 21 SIM cards, knives, a cutlass, a toy gun, and a set of master keys. The police also found sachets of diazepam tablets, 79 Exol tablets, and 98 wraps of dry leaves that were suspected to be Indian hemp. The suspects will be taken to court after investigation is completed. Now, following the suspension of the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulrashid Bawa, the director of operations at the agency, Abdul Karim Chukol, is expected to take over in acting capacity. A statement signed by the Director Information in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Willie Bassi, had directed Bawa to hand over to the Director of Operations at the Commission. Checks by Daily Trust show that Abdul Karim Chukol, a principal detective and investigator at the Commission, would be at the helm of affairs pending when another substantive head of the anti-graft agency is appointed. Chukol holds a Bachelor of Science degree from University of Maiduguri in 2000 and subsequently pursued his postgraduate diploma in criminal justice education from the University of Virginia in the United States in 2011. The detective, who joined the EFCC in 2003 and rose through the ranks to become principal detective and director of operations, also has a diploma in cybersecurity and spectrum monitoring. Now, frivolous lawsuits are now punishable by heavy fines, as recent court pronouncements suggest. Abdurrahman Umar speaks to some legal practitioners in Abuja on fines slammed on lawyers for filing cases viewed as frivolous and unnecessary. His report.
A senior lawyer, an immediate past Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Giamu, was slammed with a fine of 10 million naira for what a federal high court calls a frivolous suit against former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. What this means to the legal profession, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Tanimu Inua, says it amounts to abuse of court processes and obstruction of the cause of natural justice for lawyers to institute lawsuits deemed to be frivolous, vexatious, or unnecessary.
Unfortunately, we are taking the provision of the Constitution of Fair Hearing too far. We are taking it for granted. I was sometimes in England, one of the lawyers are telling me that if you file a matter, the judge will tell you, no, you don't have a case, withdraw it. But here, if a judge tells you that you don't have a case, withdraw it, you see that the petitions going to the NJC that the judge has taken into descended to the arena.
Folarin Aluko, an Abuja-based legal practitioner, said there is no justification for any legal practitioner who is a minister in the Temple of Justice to be involved in an act that could bring the legal profession to public ridicule.
It is unprofessional for a lawyer to take a case to undertake to file an action knowing fully well that action is frivolous or that there is not enough, the elements of that case are not sufficient or do not even exist.
Not only lawyers are susceptible to frivolous lawsuit, a fine of 40 million naira was also imposed on former presidential candidate by the Court of Appeal in Abuja for filing frivolous suit to stop the inauguration of President Bola Tinubu last month. Tunji Abayomi believes that such huge fine is meant to regulate the attitude of those involved in the legal practice in the country.
The courts will regulate the appetite of lawyers for mischief. That's the point I'm making. You understand what? Ultimately, in the process of imposing fine and disciplining them, they will begin to retreat from just taking just any case.
The legal practitioners are unanimous that the fines imposed on frivolous lawsuit will only strengthen judicial system and guide lawyers on whether there is legal grounds to pursue a case or otherwise. Abdurrahman Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba Al-Kali, has ordered the sealing of all the 17 local government area secretariats in Plateau State. The Plateau State Commissioner of Police, Bartholomew Onyeka, disclosed this on Thursday in a statement signed by the Public Relations Officer of the Force, Alabo Alfred. The statement says that the action was to prevent breakdown of law and order following tensions that arose over the appointment of new leadership in the affected council areas by the state governor, Caleb Mutwan. The statement further says the decision is in accordance with the exercise of constitutional responsibility of the Nigerian police. The command says that it will not take it lightly with anyone who tries to cause any confusion around the local government secretariats in the state. The Emir of Bichi, Nasir Ado Bayero, has asked Nigerians to desist from any form of violence capable of threatening national peace and unity. Speaking while receiving members of the Nigeria for Peace project, the Emir believes that religious and ethnic tolerance are important factors for sustainable economic growth. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
According to the Emir of Bichi, Nasir Ado Bayero, peace and unity must be sustained in order to add strength to religious and ethnic cooperation among all Nigerians, regardless of their political differences or economic status.
Duk ƙasar da take zaune ana rigima a cikinta akan addini da ƙabilanci.
Any nation that survives in religious or ethnic violence will never progress. This is why it's always important for people to vote those who will ensure their development. I therefore call on all Nigerians to stay away from religious and ethnic violence. The Nigeria for Peace project is an initiative of various civil society groups aimed at ensuring unity and reconciliation among various factions of the society by using traditional rulers as ambassadors of the project.
We feel that and we believe that it's only when there's unity in Nigeria that development can really take place. And it is our also belief that we understand that the whole African countries look on their own eyes on Nigeria, and they consider Nigeria as a country that gives them the guide. So for that reason, Nigeria needs to remain united, because if Nigeria should disintegrate, then definitely there's going to be a lot of problems, a lot of chaos. Like I used to say, that no any country, any continent in the world that can accommodate the Africa, particularly when Nigeria is in crisis. The West African countries, none of them can really accommodate.
For these members of the Independent National Unity and Reconciliation Committee, their aim is to further ensure that Nigerians, especially those who felt dissatisfied with the outcome of the 2023 general elections, are reconciled.
Everything about discussion in Nigeria, we are not talking of one united Nigeria. Everybody is talking about either you are from the north, from the south, you are from the west, or you are an Igbo, you are a Yoruba, you are Igala, you are whatever. These are issues that we must address. That the first thing that must come to somebody's mind is, I am a Nigerian.
The organization per se have to conglomerate different people from different states, different religions, to make sure we achieve this very aim. And what is the aim? Unity, because unity is the strength any country or any society or any community can base on, because without the unity, there will be separation, and we don't want that to happen.
In the next coming days, the group intends to open up a dialogue with different sections of the society geared toward understanding their grievances for possible solution. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break, we take a look at job fairs in motor parks. More details after the break.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at English squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us on the news update on Trust TV. First, a quick look at the top stories at this hour. President Bola Tinubu appoints Nuhu Ribadu security advisor and 7 others. Terrorists attack Katsina communities, kill 3, abduct 12 others. To Adamawa State now, where commercial drivers in the state are expressing fear that the fuel subsidy removal, which has forced transport fare hikes in the state, may in the long run render them jobless. Here's Silas Lawan with the report.
The hardship have increased at least from 60 to 95% now.
Since the pronouncement of the removal of fuel subsidy last month, transport have gone up in Adamawa State. Some commercial drivers at the Paluja Motor Park in Jamaica, while speaking on the hardship caused by the fuel subsidy removal, made passionate appeal for measure to ease their sufferings.
Even some drivers, they are losing their work because there's no money to buy fuel. Even you can buy fuel, where are you carrying them to? Babu. So people are now staying for house. And therefore, government can accept at least you have to drop it down small.
Before they remove this subsidy, we are carrying from here to Jalingo is 2,500, Gombe 3,000, Mubi we are carrying 3,000, Fufore 500, Green 700 naira. But now as they remove the subsidy, passenger they are not available because of increasing of the fuel. Now the thing we are carrying from here to Jalingo is 3,500. Gombe is 4,000. So we are begging for federal government to look at the matter, to even if they can return the subsidy matter is more better.
Passengers are also taking the heat of the subsidy removal as they express divergent views.
Yes, in terms of the fuel increment due to this fuel subsidy is affecting every passenger. I came to the park, and formally when you come to the park, in just like 30 minutes the vehicle is filled and everybody moved to his own destination. But presently now I've spent like going to 2 hours to get a vehicle to be filled. It's just because of the increment. People cannot meet up their doings because we are managing already before this subsidy, and now it's shocking every one of us.
I'm into commercial driving from Zaria to Yola and some northeastern state. Before the fuel subsidy removal, I used to spend 17,000 naira to get full tank. But now I need 47,000 naira to do so. We want the government to see the need of easing the hardship. Government had argued that subsidy removal will free up resources for the state to provide infrastructure and other essential services. Silas Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
In Benue State, as important as hospitals are, most villages in Benue State have no first aid clinics to attend to the sick. The government The civil society organizations and individuals as a result have much to do to mitigate the gaps in public health management. Here's Jimmy Azande with one of such villages and now reports.
For those who do not have first-hand experience, it is like a fairy tale about the lack of health facilities in the villages. In Fada, an isolated village in Guma local government area of Benue State, the community health extension worker appears to be the only option.
So I learned that these people are having problem of this hospital or something. So I came here. My problem is I'm considering a lot of problems, like transportation to get drugs. Right now I'm from a labor room. A woman came and drove her here. Our problem is we don't get the drugs available here very quick, and where to get them is very difficult because of the condition of the road. So that's our major problem here.
Due to hospitals that were government owned no longer exist. We are going through terrible times in this village. Looks like we do not have a government anymore. This is actually not good enough. Many who spoke lamented that mortality rate is high in the village because of the lack of health facilities. They said it wasn't the situation. The rains have cut out the villagers from neighboring communities because of poor road networks.
Where we used to go and buy drugs, as it is during this rainy season, we used to have a lot of problems. So government should see to that. And government should come. They say it is government that say we should take her to grassroots. So the problem is to get drugs and the load. That is our major problem here.
So if the government knows that we are a people, this is the right time for them to come to our aid and make sure that our pains are eradicated. Our people need a life. Our people need to transport. They need to go out to the environment and interact with other people like normal human beings. So the government really needs to come to our aid. Otherwise, the sufferings are too much.
Sad as it is, a baby was delivered as at the time of this report, and the community health extension worker said there were no drugs nor means to travel out to get some.
Nigeria's inflation rate in May 2023 has risen to 22.41%, up from 22.22% recorded in the previous month, representing the fifth consecutive increase in the headline inflation rate. This is according to the recent Consumer Price Index, a report that was released by the National Bureau of Statistics. The inflation rate in Nigeria rose for the fifth time in a row in May, after the rate declined to 22.34% in May 2022. Inflation continues to rage at an over 17-year high despite contractionary monetary policies by the Central Bank of Nigeria. On a month-on-month basis, the headline inflation rate in May was 1.94%, which was 0.03% higher than the rate recorded in April. Food and non-alcoholic beverages contributed the most to the rise in the inflationary pressure, followed by housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuel, which stands at 3.7%, and clothing and footwear is at 1.71%. Meanwhile, inflation is expected to continue its upward trend through the year, following the announcement of the removal of petrol subsidies and the adjustment of the forex rate at the official market. Commandant of the Nigeria Civil Defense Corps NCDC, Dr. Ahmed Audi, has ordered the removal of the River State Commandant Michael Oga and directed him to hand over the affairs of the command to his deputy pending the deployment of a substantive state commandant of the Civil Defense Corps. The development came as the NCDC boss instituted a high-powered investigation panel to look into the circumstances leading to the blockage of the entrance of the River State Command of the NCDC, located at Olu Obasanjo Way, GRA, Port Harcourt in River State, by the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, on Wednesday. NUPENG had alleged that the River State Command of the Corps did not follow due process in handling the case of 3 petroleum tankers impounded and handed over to the Civil Defense Corps in Rivers State by the Nigerian Army, its 6th Division garrison in Port Harcourt on the 4th of November 2022. However, the NCDC command condemned the act by Nupeng, which is said was born out of the union's refusal to accept the forfeiture of the 3 tankers. According to the state commandant, the command obtained the forfeiture order from the Federal High Court 6 in Port Harcourt in the Judicial Division of Port Harcourt on the 20th of December 2022. The Director of Public Relations of the NCDC headquarters, Commandant Olushola Odumosu, in a statement on Thursday, says the investigation committee headed by the DCG in charge of operations, Dauda Mungadi, is to objectively investigate the role played by the state commandant and members of the command and of the command's anti-vandal team in the crisis. On the foreign scene, howling gales and crashing waves are pounding the coastline of India and Pakistan hours before powerful cyclone Biparjoy makes landfall. The storm, classified as a very severe cyclone, is expected to hit the area between Kheti Bandar Port in Sindh Province district in southern Pakistan and Kush district in western India's Gujarat state. Pakistan's climate change minister Sherry Rahman says cyclone Biparjoy is expected to make landfall later on Thursday or after midnight. In a tweet, the minister says the cyclone is now 130 kilometers from the town of Kheti Bandar. Pakistan Climate Change Minister Sherry Rahman says Karachi, a port city of 20 million people, was not under any immediate threat. Rahman says emergency measures are being taken to deal with winds and rains that were expected to batter the economic hub. And that's the size of our update at this hour. Many thanks for your time and company. Do not forget to follow us across our social media pages on Facebook and on Instagram. You can follow our live stream on YouTube. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.